can't get enough. Every day, all I do is think about us. Wonder why it took so long. Could it be love? I feel for you. In my free time, all I seem to do is think about us.
Too many times you were the one that got away from me, but now I got you in my arms, baby, stay with me. I'm talking more than come over and spend the day with me. I say forever, I mean it, baby, just wait and see. Say I'm the lucky one, baby, I'm just grateful. You're truly my better half, it take two. That's why I treat you like treasure, I'm so blessed. Giving you everything, all of me, no less. What can I say, it's so right. I'm thinking about where we headed, and baby, the future looks so bright. Stuck in these moments with you right now. All in my feelings got me saying I love you, planning a life now. Cause baby, this is real, real. Baby, this is love. See, baby, this is real, real. Cause
I can't get enough. Every day, all I do is think about us. Wonder why it took so long. Could it be love? I feel for you. In my free time, all I seem to do is think about us.
I got a Mexican honey, no lie. Call her dual exhaust baby with my pistols on the side. Born gangster, cause her daddy straight from the shy lights. She can cook a mean pot of Puerto Rican rice. This love could stop flights like protesters at O'Hare. Rita Lee heard me, said wifey ain't going nowhere. And all day, every day, thinking of my queen. Beautiful in every way, dreaming about our dream team. The perfect daughter and a son to carry my name, my fame. Just doing us, driving in fly lanes. And God's been telling me the stars are aligned. Cause honestly, I think about our future right in my mind. I think it's time for us to move another chess piece. Drink a little wine, take a vacation next week. I think it's time for us to move another chess piece. Drink a little wine, take a vacation next week.
Every day, all I do is think about us. Wonder why it took so long. Could it be love? I feel for you. In my free time, all I seem to do is think about us. Every day, all I do is think about us. Wonder why it took so long. Could it be love?
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Welcome back. It is me, your boy Rico No Suave. I'm gonna say it again, Rico No Suave. Welcome back to another great Wednesday. Yes, for all of you guys that's actually tuning in, you know I am super happy for you to be tuning in right now because you know why? I missed you and you missed me as well too, and the whole crew missed you as well. So welcome back. Don't forget to share this video, everybody. Don't forget to tell the whole world that today is another great episode that we're all ready to have a great time. Don't forget to participate, everybody. Please make sure you share, but also make sure you send out some comments, ask questions, all of that great stuff. Let them know the Rico No Suave show is back on live. All right, everybody. So now we have to talk about our last day, which we always will talk about for the rest of our lives, about mental health awareness, everyone. So this is the end of May, but we want to thank everybody for actually tuning in for the month of May for our mental health awareness and all of the organizations that we had here on our show, and letting you guys know that there's multiple organizations that you from around the world, just a phone call away, or if you want to actually go into the center itself, or you know someone to be able to go into the center. Now that we're in Chicago, but based off of where you're at, make sure you please go ahead and check someone in that's actually going through depression, mental health awareness, drugs affiliate, anything that may make someone depressed and low self-esteem. We will be talking later in the show. We will tell you about an organization that I want you guys to make sure you guys pay attention to, but also spread the love as well. I'm super happy to be back with every one of you guys, and thank you guys so much for all of your support. All right, so now I gotta introduce this gentleman here tuning in from LA. I have to say, this person is a rock star. This person has style. That's all I gotta say, because I want you guys to tell me what you guys think when I bring this person on. A producer, a guitarist from the family of funk. Woohoo! That's one of the songs that I actually was listening to, and I love it. But I want you guys to stand up. If you got a guitar, try and just play a song for him, because his name is my man, Frank Greenfield. Let's go! Hey, Frank, are you there?
I am here, Rico No Suave.
What's up, Frank? How you doing? How's it going?
It's good, my brother. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to actually have you here on the show, and I am super hyped about this. Some of my friends say I'm super stoked. You know what I mean? I'm like super stoked. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to use stoked, you know? So I'm super happy to have you on the show. But before we get started, because I know, hey, you've been doing a lot of great things for the world, but I want to know, do you have any shout outs you want to give out to anybody before we have any questions for you?
I just want to shout out to Rico No Suave.
Come on, baby. Come on, Frank.
And our management team, Jeff RCO at Gig Productions Creative Crew, our publicist with Davis Consulting, our press inquiries person, Deb Hayter, and my 5 cats, family of funk.
Hey, what's the cat's name, Frank? What's the cat's name?
This one is Joshua.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see if he can come over. Oh, no, he says no. He'll come.
So you got 5 names. You got 5 names. So what's the other 4 names? What's the other 4 cats?
Well, Sarai, that's his sister. She's also inside, and have Simeon.
Okay.
I have Morris.
Okay.
And Tutanuma.
Tutanuma. All right. Okay. All right. I like that one.
They tell me their names. I kind of got that thing going on with the cats.
I love it. Well, you know what? You're the first one that gave shout outs of your cats. I've never had any guests doing it, but hey, Frank, that's why you're here. That's it. Man, let's get it on, man. I'm super hype about this, but let's talk about, you being, of course, a producer, artist, and you have so many talents, right? But let's talk about, how did you transition from, a recording artist to an artist, a producer to an artist, I should say.
I've always, loved to be a performer. There was always something, you know, when I first came out to LA, I did more studio work and made my name as a producer, working with, labels and a couple, bigger producers. But there was always, this part of me that I love to perform, and so it was, it was always there. I had a tour with a couple, more popular, funk bands in 2016, 2017. And actually, I was producing this American Idol finalist, and we would occasionally play these clubs, and I'd play guitar, and he would sing. We'd play with the house band, and he would just tear it up. And I was playing a place called the G Spot or the GS Lounge or something down by LAX. And there was a guy came up to me. This guy Smokey. I always got to give him a shout out.
Yeah, Smokey.
Smokey. He said, after I got done playing, he said, "Man, you're just, you're a badass on that guitar. I'm Ronnie Wilson's personal assistant. So from the Gap Band, he said, we might have, we have a spot for you." I was like, "Okay, well, thanks." He gave him my card, and I'm like, "Oh, the Gap Band, I came up with them. I always loved them." So that was kind of my first. Anyway, he got me the audition, and of course I went and got the audition, and it's just a whole other story. But I got into more, playing or performing more like 2016, and then I was with a music director for Side Effect. They're kind of like a funk soul, neo soul, and but even when I was a producer, many times I'd go out. There was a couple other artists I was producing. Rick Starr, Tyler Jacob. We'd go out, do 3 or 4 dates, and so I was always there. But it just, when I learned certain things about the business, I loved touring and loved performing, but really where most of the income was made was through my, publishing deal through Universal Music and then Missing Link Music was my admin. And that's kind of where, when I was learning about the business, the money is in the publishing and the writing. And that's kind of what I learned working with bigger producers, working with people who are making a name in the industry. When you're doing a tour, the money is kind of varied and all over the place. Sure. And, I came out here to make a living in the music, business. But as far as, when we started the Family of Funk, I needed kind of, even though I started it with 2 other members who were kind of knew a lot about the industry, knew a lot about the game. And I needed to be able to control the situation. Write the songs and approach it totally like, a business in a business sense. It's one thing to go out and, play shows in LA or whatever, but then to, there was a whole thought process with becoming a brand, marketing, merchandising for characters and things like that. So we went in full force because it's one thing. Again, it's a whole nother story about branding and finding your lane, but we kind of went in that direction because I had worked. When you're working with labels, or you start to see when you're working with A&R, when I was a producer, I start to see this is how success happens.
Right.
Right.
I when some of the things that you were talking about that really made me feel as if I was in your shoes, I get distracted easily. And when you're actually having, and I get distracted in a way of multitasking, but at the same time too, I get distracted because being a producer, but also you're writing songs, and then you're also either playing the songs as a musician. There's a lot to take on, especially in LA. When you go to LA, there's a lot of things going on from parties to friends to building families to, using a pen and a piece of paper and trying to sit down. If you're doing homework, you know, there's a lot of things that it's really hard. And it's kind of cool that you were able to meet. Now, you did say the Gap Band, if I'm not mistaken. You had somebody from the Gap Band, and
Yeah.
that's like golden. I mean, the Gap Band. I mean, like for something like that to happen it's good. But how did you make these connections? Like, how was the connections for you during that time of meeting people?
Yeah. When I moved to LA, I knew one person.
Yeah.
And I was in a relationship, and I actually had no idea how to navigate
Yeah.
or how to network with people. So
Yeah.
something else, you know, I have partially hearing disabled, so my ability to communicate is a little off.
I see.
Sometimes I have to read lips, or I don't hear things quite well. So
Yeah.
and my knowledge of the industry was very limited. You know, I went to school for music. I studied classical and jazz and some other instruments, drums, but I really didn't know anything about the industry. But something I did have, I had a good business sense. I had some good people skills, and you know, when I first met my writing partner, who's became one of my best friends, we were both doing security in a church parking lot.
Oh, nice.
And
That's
we
awesome.
were talking about martial arts and
Wow.
and things like that. And it was like probably on a Wednesday night, and like this Wednesday night church service, and my buddy Lamar, and we just started talking about martial arts, and then she talked about music. I said, oh wow, you know. And so it was just kind of putting myself out there. But you know, LA is a difficult town to navigate. You know, when I first came out here, like the first 6 months, I'm like, man, oh man, you know, I'm from the East Coast. I might come all a little strong sometime and talk with my hands. And you know, everyone is trying to find out, to validate, see if they can get something from you. It's really hard to see who is what. There's a lot of bad actors out here. I don't mean actors in film and TV. There's some great actors too, but people who are acting like they're one way, but in fact, you know, another, or they might have a card that says producer, but they actually don't produce anything.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we could talk a whole nother story about that. Oh my goodness.
It's a whole nother story. And I actually thought that I had a good ability to kind of, you know, see through some of that, but not all the time. But it was kind of like, you know, meeting Lamar, and we did the work. And when I said doing the work, we would spend sometimes, you know, 14, 16, 18 hours in the studio. But then also the hard work is things like I didn't want to do, like doing administrative stuff, like spending 3 hours on the computer, you know, like now, like updating my IMDb. Updating my IMDb.
Even though I know I had to do it.
But you know what? Though, bro, it's what you said about multitasking.
Yes.
Like people say that, you know, that's what I do. I mean, I have the OCD kind of thing, but multitasking, it's the good side of it is I can do it. I can do those things, you know, and that's what's required. Not just even making music, but, you know, I mean, figuring out like how to navigate life and navigate the business side, and, you know, how to make money with it, and really looking at your life totally objectively. Yeah. You know, what is this good? Is this going to take me closer to my goal? You know, and
some of those things, you know, and some of those things, Frank, that we have to think about is, you know, and it also wears down on you too, right? Because there's so many things that you have to do that, you know, it's only another milestone for you to become successful by by accomplishing those milestones, right? And I think that because there's so many things going towards you, it's because your talent is attracting that. You're a magnet. So the one thing that you did say that I really love is that, you know, you get to meet people and they just like you, you know, or you have to be sociable, right? Because if you're not sociable, but real, right? Real and sociable, humble, and what you love to actually do, people see that, right? And I think that makes people want to actually give you more things, which takes you back to your computer, to your pen and paper, for you to be able to do those things as well, right? And I think, it shows over time in regards to your style and what you love to do. You kind of answered the question from LA in regards to being overly crowded, and I'm probably going to have you back on when we talk about people that's faking the funk, no pun intended, faking the funk, right? When it comes down to, hi, I'm a producer, and it reminds me of what Bowfinger, the movie Bowfinger, with Steve, I think it's Steve Martin and Eddie Murphy, where they were acting as if he was a film director, but he wasn't. And he was trying to get into a movie. And I'm like, man, is it really that? Is it really like that? And, you know, really trying to get to that big screen, or trying to really cheat their way, you know, to success, which never is not going to work if you're trying to cheat yourself, right? Yeah. And being crowded in LA, you know, you kind of told us a little bit about what you did differently to achieve kind of the success. But what was that niche that actually got you into the doors of people knowing who Frank Greenfield and the Family of Funk really is?
Well, I think, you know, the band, you know, the people in the band, we are, you know, who we are. It's one of my other close friends, Wayman, who I started the band with. Wayman was an original Gap Band member, and was out with Charlie Wilson for, you know, maybe 30 years. Really, you know, he's been out with Justin Timberlake and, you know, Snoop Dogg and things like that. And then Mia Dunn was one of the female leads. She, you know, she sang with all kinds of rock artists and recorded with you know, incredible bands, you know, Bang Tango and Don Dokken. So they brought, you know, their experience, something that I had too. So collectively, I brought, you know, the business acronym. This is what, you know, when you create a brand, you can become timeless. Not that I'm timeless, but you become a marketable product. It's talent is one thing, and the level of talent in Los Angeles is so high, you know. So you have to kind of rise to it, become the absolute best version of yourself, and then, you know, leverage the positive aspects of who you are and your brand. And of course, then people are attracted, you know, if it's sellable, people are attracted to that. They want to become a part of it.
Right.
Yeah, I remember working with, you know, a couple artists that were just phenomenally talented, but one of the guys on our team, when we were working with Conjunction Entertainment and the Mosley Group, they'd say, well, we can get the songs. We just need the artist to be, you know, the artist. And that there's a lot of things that has like a lot of pieces. Yeah. Will you become a marketable brand? Do people like you? Are you a personable person? Everybody thinks that they're personable, but is there something about you that people are drawn to? Yeah. You know, so all those things really come into play, and then define, you know who you are. With the Family of Funk, again, Wayman, it's so crazy. Wayman and I have the same birthday. Oh, nice. We call each other, you know, the twins. And of course, we don't look, you know, Wayman is his skin's much darker than mine, but we think so much alike. There is certain things about who we are, you know, musically, and who we are personally. And then we have We have the illustrious Dunn sisters, both of our female lead. We have Mia Dunn, and then we have Cherie Dunn. And Cherie came a little bit later, and they're, look a little bit, or quite different. And when I met Cherie, I said, Cherie, I think you're supposed to be in this band. She said, why? I said, well, the other girl is named, Mia Dunn. So there is something like really special about that. Not that that's, but the family of funk is we are. There's nothing. What's the what is it? What would the word be? Like, not predisposed, but I mean it's not forced. It's just who we are. The rhythm section I put to, coming from a rhythmic background, I wanted like a gospel type drummer, and a guy played slap bass, and
okay.
But the main, core of the band, keyboards, singers, it just came naturally, and that's who we are. So when we talk about, unity and love, which is kind of like, when I was a youngster, I was really into the Gap Band, Earth, Wind and Fire, Sly and the Family Stone. They were all multicultural, and they were just, they just loved doing music with each other. Nobody looked and said, "Oh, you're different than this," or "What's wrong with you? How come you look like?" So, yeah.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy if people really took it to that level. Because then people have their personal feelings, because then they start thinking about race, right? And I'm like, no, diversity is we're all as one. We have a brain. We're intelligent. If you're in the music industry and you understand each other, and you're right. The one thing that I would say you hit it 100%. I'll even give you 1,000, Frank, is personality. I'm big on personality, right? I'm big on being able to work with people in order to achieve a bigger goal. The one thing that I really love about your group, which goes into the next question about how it's different. You have two people with the last name of Dunn, right? I like that. That's a done deal right there. That's a done deal. Exactly. I like that. Done deal. Exactly. And then you have, someone that has the same birthday as you, right? Mm-hmm. And it's crazy when you have the same birthday as someone else. It's almost like you're looking yourself in the mirror, because that person is probably going to do the same thing that you're doing, or looking at or thinking the same way you do. And it's crazy.
It is crazy. It is. We sometimes can finish each other's sentences. It's like when I'll say something, Wayman will say, "I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking." I'm like, "No, you don't know what I'm thinking."
That is, it can be creepy sometimes.
Even there was a group that really influenced in me. They played on a lot of old, Motown. It was the Wrecking Crew. You know who the Wrecking Crew was? Yeah, and they were just across the board great musicians, multicultural, multi-gender. Karaoke with playing bass, and one of my favorite and incredibly influential guy who I had the fortune of meeting, Tommy Tedesco. I mean, they were about the music, and it was just maybe a different time, but it really, like, to go back to that feel good, I always loved it all, but, loved disco, loved funk, and it was all about, that good time and just that 4-on-the-floor beat just pounding it, and it's all good.
Yeah. And I think that's the cool thing about, having music is it brings people together. I was just talking about this because I love to cook. But when you sit down and you listen to your favorite songs, you tend to sing while you're eating. You tend to actually
into the air.
And appreciate the artist. You start talking about, oh man, I remember when you said the Wrecking Crew, my brothers and sisters used to listen to that, right? And I'm like, wow. I'm like, and it grows on you, right? It grows on you after a while, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I've heard that group before. I heard some of the songs. But then when you start feeling that vibe of, that funk, that disco, and you start feeling as far as those tunes, it's like it grows upon you. And of course, I love house music as well. So disco and house music tend to actually start blending in with each other. And you start listening, oh, yeah, that was that group, blah, blah, blah. They made a house track. And it just makes you feel like so appreciative. The family of funk, right? The family of funk, you kind of also talked about, how you guys are just musically naturally together. And I think that's what I love about that, because sometimes it's hard to actually have people to audition for your group, and then all of a sudden it just doesn't work out. But it seems like the Family of Funk. Can you tell the audience how many people is in the Family of Funk, and what are their names? Well, we got the Duns already. So.
Well, obviously there's, I'll start with the drummer, Corey Lewis.
Corey Lewis.
Yeah. We got Harrell Simon.
Okay.
We have Wayman Starks on
Okay.
keyboards. Okay, so Corey Lewis, drums, Harrell Simon on bass. We have Wayman Starks on keyboards and programming. We have Cherie Dunn on vocals.
Nice.
Myself, Frank Greenfield.
Yes.
And then Mia Dunn on vocals as well.
Nice. I saw the video Woohoo. I love that song. I just want to let you. I keep saying, I love to say woohoo too, but woohoo, right? I love it. I love it. Also, one of your other songs for your group is "Going, Going, Gone." That's another one that I like. That was a good one. But one that I can just play. I think it was Motor.
Just the track.
Yeah, the track. Track that was hot. That was hot.
So much.
I like that. I like that. And of course, listening to you guys' music and the way that you guys have put things together is just, and of course you being the main person, just awesome, man. I know you work as a team, but man, Frank, you guys got a great thing going on there. A really great thing going on. Definitely.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
It's I say that from the bottom of my heart. It's so humbling to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate music. I appreciate, without you and your group, you wouldn't be saving people's lives. I have to tell you, because by listening to your music, we sit down and we listen to it. We might have a bad day, and I might just want to put on Motor, right? And then let's go, right? And I might just go out for a drive and listen to something smooth like that, there's another one, Split Personality.
Split Personality, yes, that's what. Yeah,
I like that one. I like that.
It's. I could go into a whole thing. See, some of those tracks were written by Lamar and I, and we later incorporated them into the Family of Funk.
Okay.
Some of that music was written when we were writing for other artists, for labels. When you're writing for a big artist, they want 2 tracks. Sometimes you're writing 10 or 15.
Right.
So we had all this really great music. I ended up licensing a lot of it to film and TV, and then we ended up, if it fit within the Family of Funk, with what we were doing, we wrote some of our first song. Mia, wrote that hook, for Woohoo.
Nice.
Welcome to the Family of Funk, black, white, brown, red, yellow, big or small. We're gonna
love it.
We're gonna welcome you all.
Yes.
And she wrote that top line.
That's hot.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of diversity. I heard definitely a lot of diversity, because that's what I was, of course, listening to the words is what you got to listen to in order for you to dance to it if you really appreciate music. But I heard the diversity of everything that you guys, the 2 vocalists was actually singing, and how you guys were actually just together on that. And I really love that. And I think it's a powerful movement. Also, it is, right?
It's here's the thing. It's hard, and also when you're posting things on social media or doing interviews, people only see the result. They don't realize the battle or what you took to get there. Even with dealing with band members, Mia and Wayman and myself were original, but we had gone through several different different players. Sometimes in the industry, people are really combative, or they're not, like, they might be able to play the parts, but yet, like, their personalities are like, wow, and that's
it's definitely a movement. You guys got something good going. When I saw that, I was like, oh man, that is hot. I love to see the cultures come together and be on the same page. I see a lot of bands actually start, of course, doing that. as well. And I really love that, as well. Frank, we got to take a quick break, but I'm so happy that you're here with me. Oh, yeah, baby. That's Frank Greenfield, man. Yes. I'm loving it. All right, Frank, hold on for a second. We got to take a quick commercial break. Everybody, you already know my man Frank is in the building. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. You already know it is your boy Rico No Suave with my man Frank Greenfield. Yes, producer, guitarist from the family of funk. Let's go, baby. Yes, I'm loving it. Hey, Frank. There was a question that was asked about your style, and it was about your hair. How long did it take for you? Okay, hold on. I want to say it right. How long does it take? Just as John T for free is checking in. Hello, John. He said, how long does that hair take to get ready for an event?
Okay. So here's the thing. I'm of Scottish descent. I have really kind of bushy hair.
Okay.
And so some of this there's a lot of this is extensions. So
okay.
I've got easy extensions to get in. These are hard. These are hours worth of work. And then, of course, you take them out and my hair is like,
That's where the funk comes in with the fro. Is that what you said? You got a fro under there or what?
There's a saying that I love, and that's suffer for vanity, my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Hey, so Frank, I hope that answers your question. John T. for free, thank you so much. Trish Hogan checks in, the model from LA checking in. She said, love your hair. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We got Beatrice Davis checking in. Hello, Beatrice Davis checking in as well, too. She said, everyone has a particular artist that they like to work with. Is there one artist Frank would like to collaborate with?
Wow. There is, it's funny, people think working with certain artists like that I worked with in the past or wrote for.
Yeah.
What was like working on, on the Birthday album, or what was like working for Usher? And I say, couldn't tell you, we worked in a little studio and we wrote songs for them. And of course they had their top line writers, but, probably, I love all kinds of, pop, right now, Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
And I love Charlie Wilson. He's like legendary.
Yeah, Charlie Wilson, man.
Harry Styles.
Harry Styles. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're all they're kind of across the board great, vocalists and just incredible artists. And, when you work with great people, it elevates you. It can be really challenging. And so, it elevates you. And it's like part of my, martial arts philosophies is you're always, when you're with a great, someone that's just a great artist or has better skills than you. I like to be with people like that because I like to be challenged.
Yeah.
I like to, rise to the occasion and it's something, especially back to, multitasking.
Yeah.
It's something actually that I can do,
Yes.
So
that's awesome. Thank you so much. This interview was meant to be, Frank. You know why? Because every time we talk, you're going into my next question. And I love it. I love it, man. I mean, I just want to let you know. You might have to be a co-host of my show one day.
I'm using Jedi mind control.
Right. Hey. Hey, my birthday's not on the same as you and the other guy, but I had to tell you, man, you almost thinking like I'm thinking here, Frank. Okay, so we talked about martial arts philosophy. You know, how did that affect your career?
So there's a couple, there's a couple things. One is there's always like these sayings like, anything, worthwhile is not easy, or, the martial arts, traditional Korean martial arts is what I train in two different styles actually.
Okay.
Is do or die, attitude. But
Yeah.
I remember early on in my martial arts career when I was training, and I was never really that athletic growing up. I mean, I ran track or cross country. I wasn't into like football that much, but I remember these younger guys coming in. They had like great flexibility and great natural ability.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have that. Everything came everything came at a price. It was, a struggle. It was hard, pushing through. And
Yeah.
I remember about a year in, I was like, man, this is going to be a long, hard struggle. But it's when I realized that I can only be the best version of me.
Yeah.
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 And I can only be, and I actually became an instructor in both those styles. And I always want to go for second or third, degrees, but
Yeah.
it just takes so much time. But I only could do what I do, well. And it's the same thing with music. There is, there's great players who have, more talent, better looking, a better style, and might just be better. But I can only do what Frank can do, and I try to just always be the best version.
Frank,
myself.
never change. Don't change that. That mentality right there. Don't change it, Frank. Hey, you have your own style, Frank. And I have to tell you, I said, you want people to come, and it's almost like how Prince in the Revolution, how they actually did their own thing, but Prince just had his own unique style. You have your own unique style as well, right? That's
Thank
why
you.
people come to you, right? And I think that's a good thing because, don't get me wrong, we step outside, somebody looks better than us, forget about it. You know what I mean? I feel that sometimes. I feel it too. I forget about it, And I'm like, I gotta keep walking, I gotta better myself. But at the same time too, Frank, it's all about how you attract people magnetically to you by your style. And I think that's awesome, man, because your hair, of course, and I can just imagine when you're playing, right? The hair is just there, man. It's there, and it's your style, and I think that's a really cool thing about you. But the philosophy, when people talk to you, it makes them look at you in a certain way of, man, I can really vibe with this person, right? And I think that's what makes you even better. Appearances, of course, it's always good on the outside, but I have to say what's here and also what's here makes a big difference overall, right? For Mr. Greenfield, right? So that's what makes a big difference.
That is so humbling. That means a whole lot.
Yeah.
Bro, it really does, because, especially in Los Angeles, in the music industry, it really is, plus there's a whole, I realized when I came out to LA, I came out to make a career happen, but I realize now it's about, I love this saying. Carlos Santana says, if you're not doing something for someone else, you're not doing anything.
Yes.
And I believe, like, my experiences in music industry, in life, in certain, the grind or whatever, is I found has given me the ability to speak into other people's lives.
Yes.
And that's really, really what it's about. It actually, it keeps me much more, level, even keeled, and the struggle is real. It takes I appreciate everything that you're saying about style. It sometimes it does come with, comparing, or I think, my hair would look good like this, or I like this person's clothes, or I like how this works, and maybe I'll try a little bit of this or try a little bit of that. And so, those things come with time. And then again, people just see, the end result.
They see the package deal.
Yeah.
That's what I say. They see the whole package, right? And I think that's what it is. I think they see the whole package as well too. So, I got to throw this comment out there because Trish Hogan actually says, "Would you be interested in playing music?" Well, I'm sorry. Would you be interested in playing in music is art in Buffalo? My good friend Rob Tazak from Google Dolls runs it.
Absolutely.
That sounds like an offer to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Have her. Do you have her contact information?
For sure. Yes, I will definitely
send
make
it
sure I make sure I connect you two together.
To our management team. They handle pretty much everything on our end. But those things are really close to my heart.
Yeah.
Again, pouring out into others, helping. I'm going to a fundraiser on Tuesday. Groove for Good, bringing music programs into schools.
Yeah.
Because for me that was really part of my. We haven't gotten into it yet, but music training or even after school programs. Were really significant in forming me or helping me find my own way.
Frank, every time you say something, it turns to gold because this interview is going even smoother, baby. Forget about it. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about education. Excuse me. How important is formal training / music education? How is that important to you?
Well, it was really important to me. And people can say, well, such and such guitarist didn't, never, studied or anything. But for me, I remember being a young guitarist, even in elementary school, and it was good. I learned some chords and, learned some songs and stuff, but I didn't really get into certain training until a little older. And guys that were really good were learning certain, idioms like classical and jazz. And I realized if I wanted to be at the top of my game and really be a good, great player, then that's what I would have to do. I would have to study that. And so I studied classical and I studied jazz and went to Westminster Conservatory of Music in Princeton, New Jersey. And, it really helped me even with, pop, R&B, or auditioning, for a band, when just being caught off guard, but having enough music theory that when you ask the keyboard player, hey, what key we in? I know exactly how to bring it and what to play.
Yeah.
Or even playing a song, and many times working on a song in a studio, many times you're coming up with something you think it's really dope, and then the A&R people say, well, what else you got? And so it's so always being able to bring the heat, and never playing the same thing and bringing it, not just, I have to practice this. And I'm not saying, my schooling or I'm a great reader or anything like that, but it really helped me having theory and knowledge of the fretboard and knowledge of music. Really helped me in my, in my career,
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yes. Before we take another quick break, I got one point to ask about release date of music. Do you have any release dates of new music coming out?
Yes, we do. June 23rd, we are actually doing a remix of Early in the Morning by the Gap Band. We're about ready to finish up the vocals using this award-winning vocal producer, Tessa Escoto. She worked with Michael Jackson on Man in the Mirror. Woof. And we're actually finishing it up this Saturday. It's like my production, when I was working with my buddy Lamar, we would call ourselves the Dent Makers. So it's a Dent Makers, like an EDM style remix. We've got a couple great rappers featured on it, Liso and this guy Lacey.
Yes.
G Soldier. So
yes,
we're really
that's my
excited
guy.
about it. Yeah, it's banging. It's pop, it's EDM, and it's a great song. I mean, Early in the Morning was I used to love playing those Gap Band songs when I was with the band, but then to be able to recreate that and do my own version of it is great. So we've got that. We've got other collabs coming out, and of course we have music already written. The Family of Funk, Woohoo. We've got a more produced version of that. Funkadilio, Rock to the Funk. It's another song. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. That's hot. Man,
So
congratulations on that.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff prepared. We had some setbacks in the past year, some false starts, but
Sure.
it's all going to be good. And again, those things come with time, and the music industry can be a slow, arduous process. Success is like something like you're pushing and pushing, pushing. So,
Yes.
but we're really happy with how things are going, and with our team, and the band sounds phenomenal, and it's going to be great.
It's always good to know that you're working with Liso and my man Turner. Man, I work with those guys. I interviewed those guys as well too.
Oh,
And
wow.
you actually have. And this is why when you talk, it turns to gold, because these connecting points that we're talking about right now. And big shout out to Beatrice Davis as well too, my agent. I didn't know that you guys actually work together, but this such a
Yes.
small world that
Yeah.
you have two gems of the world working with you and singing
Yeah, they're
for you
great
and doing
guys.
beats.
Great,
These guys
great
are
at their
awesome.
craft. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We got my man Frank Greenfield. You already know I'm too super happy. He's on with me. Yes. And we're rocking it out. All right, everybody. We're going to take a break, but I got to talk about the organization because May is Mental Health Awareness. Front Door Mental Health Services, everybody. Yes, if you know someone, access to child and youth mental health services, as well as for adults, everyone. So please make sure you please go to frontdoormentalhealth.com. If you know anyone that's going through depression, self-esteem, low self-esteem, maybe going through, maybe alcohol addiction, drug addiction, or anything like that, they are there to help you. And these are some of the services. This next one is some of the services that they offer, psychiatric treatment of substance use problems, medical treatment of substance use problems as well too, professional struggling with behavioral health, inpatient transition, process addiction, lifestyle factors, families, which is very important, psychiatric services, teen treatment services, which is big because we need to save the youth, and ketamine K3. Not for sure what that is, but that's part of the services, everybody. So make sure you please go ahead and check them out at Front Door Mental Health Services and tell them that the Rico No Suave show sent you. It was live. Let's get back to Frank Greenfield. Oh, yeah. Let's go. We back. Oh, man. I'm having the best time. Your vibe is magnetic, man. You having a good time too?
I'm having a better time than you.
Let's do it. Oh, let's go. Hey, so, Frank, we're down to our last 12 minutes of fame around here.
Okay.
And one of the things about, what was life before Frank even became a star, right? So what did you do before music? Even, was music always part of your life? But what did you do, pre-career?
Yeah, music was always part of my life. Even like from elementary school, I didn't really get in, seriously until I went, to music college. But I had, a lot of jobs. I'm also a family guy. I raised a family, and
Awesome.
yeah, I have been an auto mechanic. I've been
What?
a car sales guy. I sold diesel trucks for a while right before I came out here.
Nice.
And it really gave me I did repossessions.
You trying to do the repo man? Is that what you're trying to?
Yeah.
Wow.
Believe me,
I used to watch that show.
I didn't want to be a repo man, but yeah, I did all those things. I worked in a
Wow.
body shop. I did what I had to do, because there was not really, in the East Coast, I was kind of like a big fish in a small pond. There was nothing really more I could do with a music career out there.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, all those things I learned really how to deal with people,
Yeah.
how to look at life through a business, acronym.
Nice.
And it kind of prepared me when I was going to come out to LA when I was much younger. But again, I had my family, and it was probably better because I had some issues that I didn't get deal with until later on in life. So, you know, I came out to LA with, you know, pretty serious.
Yeah,
idea.
I can, I can imagine why someone would probably leave, where they're at, because starting a new endeavor or an adventure, right?
Yeah.
A small fish in a big pond. I used to say that even you try to be a big fish because of your talent, because of who you are, and you know what your talent is, because we're kind of our worst critic, right? But it's so cool that you were a mechanic and you also was that car salesperson, because it helps you be, friendly when you need to, that customer service. There's always that background piece of things. And also, one thing I like, Frank, that I love to do, and I'm in IT, so I love to troubleshoot humans. And I think being a mechanic was trying to figure out, everybody comes to you with a problem. You're a mechanic.
That's it.
People come to me with problems and say, hey, what do you need? What's your problem? Just tell me about it, right? And then you troubleshoot what's going on. You try to figure out if they're panicking because the car won't work, or they're, something's happening over, in IT, and you try to troubleshoot them. But this also helps you when you actually came to LA and you actually said, hey, you know what? I need to find a way. I need to actually troubleshoot these humans to see who's real, who's not. When I actually made this connection, now I'm here. I'm ready. Now I understand it. But I think that helped a lot too.
Yeah, I love what you just said. Yeah, that's very true. And also, it's interesting having somewhat of a sales career. I'm selling a different brand now.
Yeah.
And the brand is me and the family of funk. And that takes an ability to be objective with what you have, whether it's a product, selling a car, or in my case, when I was used to sell diesel trucks. When I sold diesel trucks, I was not in the top 5 or 10% of the country.
Nice.
I was the top guy.
Nice. Come on.
It was. I just had this. I found a niche. I sold what they call distressed inventory, and I knew how to market the product. And it's no different than what I do now. It's just a different product.
Hey, it all stays the same, Frank. Nothing changes. It's just the product that you're selling. We tend to sell ourselves better than someone else trying to sell us, because we know what we are and how we actually can connect with people if we have that pre-training, right? That pre-training is such a big deal, right?
It is.
And that's good that you actually have that. So I really like that. That is awesome. I really love it. That is hot. What's also hot is, how do you write these hot songs? Because in your head, Frank, nobody knows except you. So what does writing come from for you? How did it come?
Well, it comes. Yeah, sometimes with the family of funk, sometimes people have brought us songs, but like for, of course, in Early in the Morning was a remake, but for Woohoo, that's a song. The track was based something like Lamar and I had written in the past, and then Mia wrote a top line on it, and then we had written together a song called "We Bougie Every Day." We just came up with the idea of this really cool funk, because it's actually, we are bougie, everybody in our band, and or the song, Funkadilio. I mean, it's got kind of a silly thing, but it's got
the
this really
Funkadilio.
Cool, beat, or Rock to the Funk. It's based off an old loop that my buddy Lamar and I had done for a commercial. Yeah. Writing, or it was a movie trailer or something like that. So we had this really dope guitar riff, and we turned it into the song.
Nice.
So so it comes from different inspiration. And again, sometimes people bring us songs. Going Gone was I can't actually remember who wrote that, but I played guitar, and I did the instrumental with Lamar, and so we brought that into doing it with the family of funk, because it fit our vibe really well, and
love it.
The girls could sing it. So it comes from all different. If it's hot, it's good.
You got to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, if it's hot, you got to do it. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where the niche is, right? That's where you know that the problem is solved because you actually found out if it's hot, we got to roll with it, right? Because that's going to take us to that next level, right? I mean,
And when you're making records,
yes.
you know, you get used to, like, it's not that everything that I make is hot, but you start to realize now the industry is saying what Frank or what the Family of Funk is making is hot. You know, we all think, well, everything that we do is great.
Yes.
You know, they're all like our masterpieces. But when you're looking at your career and your music objectively, it's like, okay, this is hot. This rises to the standard. You know, one of my first mentors said, Frank, you want to be on the radio? You listen to the radio. Is this a radio hit? Is this pop? Well, yes, it is. Or no, it's not.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Wow. I mean, and those are the only decisions that if you feel that it's hot, that's even better. You know, sometimes we think that some things are not hot and people think that it's hot and we just have to go with what the people think. Right. So, like if they think that it's hot, I'm like, well, it's going to have to be hot to me for me to keep this going, you know, so.
Exactly. And sometimes when you're writing for film and TV, the director, it's what the director thinks. And you might,
Yep.
man, this is just some little, you know, bit, but you learn to, okay, now I see what the appeal is because, you know, they're thinking about a scene or they're thinking about, you know, we did the theme song for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They had something specific in mind. And they just took this little bit of a song that we had licensed in like 5 or 6 other TV shows.
Wow.
And yeah, it was this thing with this basic little blues riff and with this, you know, horn part. And that's how, you know, it works. And all of a sudden, you know, it's 9 seasons.
That's hot. Man, I'm so glad that I know you, Frank. You know, because hey, 9 seasons, that's a lot. I mean, I ain't gonna even talk about the money. But I will tell you, I'm sure that paid off because I mean, it's your talent. The talent itself comes first, money comes later, right? And it pays to work hard, right? It pays to work hard at what you do. And speaking of working hard, you got something coming up June 8th. There's something called Groove for Good.
Yes. It's a fundraiser for, you know, bringing, you know, crowdfunding for music programs in schools.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm a guest there and, you know, trying to get people to, you know, to contribute to, you know, these after school programs. And, you know, I just found out earlier talking with our management, you know, Fender, some musical instrument companies, you know, have a lot of resources, you know, to put toward these things and instruments. So there's always something, you know, that can be, you know, contributed. There's always something that, you know, that can work out like that. So
yeah,
I'm really
that's
excited
awesome.
about this. This is down in Anaheim, I believe. Yeah.
Anaheim. Okay. Congratulations on that. Yeah. You know what? Also, you know, because there's so many things, Frank, I got to have you back on my show later this year. I definitely have to have you on my show, or I just need to I got to meet you in person as well, too. You know, you know, me and the crew, we love to fly out. We love doing live events and things like that. So we're definitely going to be talking through Ruth even more. But I do have something for you because our time is almost up. You know, this shirt is full of funk, you know, and yeah, so the Rico No Suave show, we have a shirt for you, right?
Oh,
and
and I love shirts. Yeah.
You love shirts too? Hey, I like that, Frank. I like that. You know, this shirt
the next time.
You will? Okay. Okay. Hey, you can even rock it on the stage, Frank. I mean, Frank, if you want to rock it on the stage, just let me know. You know, let me know. I would love that.
Well, you know, we've been talking to management about doing some shows out in Chicago because that's a big funk audience.
Yes.
You know, so we've been talking about doing a tour in St. Louis, Chicago, New York, I think Houston. So where that, you know, that our market is the strongest. So absolutely, man. Dude, thank you so much. That's awesome.
You're welcome. But Frank, there's words behind this. There's words behind this. Because you are a gem of the world, because of where you came from being a mechanic, a salesperson, going to LA, trying to find your best way of actually becoming a great artist and also a producer as you are. And then also just having a natural family of funk to come together and just make things just happen. And you putting this all together because your personality is magnetic. People love who you are. Your style, which you will never change, is for you. And what happens is, Frank, you know, everything starts off, no pun intended, everything starts off in a Greenfield, right? Yeah. And when things starts off in a Greenfield, it's brand new. But when they actually see how the grass is greener on that side, when you actually start putting and building your empire together, people tend to actually just love who you are as an artist. And I love your songs. Woohoo! I love your songs. And I have to say that this shirt is a representation of you being a gem of the world and everything that you're doing. So congratulations. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family, baby.
That's so humbling. That means a great deal. Thank you so much.
Frank, I am hyped, man. I am too super hyped because I'm so happy that I'm able to send this shirt to you, but also you'll be coming to Chicago, so we definitely will be keeping in contact as far as with you, Frank. One last thing, we got to put up your social media. We have to put up your social media because we want everybody and their grandmother to know about you. That is Instagram, Greenfield Frank. Let's get it. Follow now. Just don't wait. Just do it right now. Do it right now. And of course, we already know we got the next one, which is the Family of Funk, baby.
Family of Funk, yes.
Come on, let's go. Instagram, baby. Instagram. You know, there's a picture of, do we have one more? Do we have one more? Let's put up one more of social media. Of course, because we love YouTube, right? Because we love YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, Frank Greenfield 3448. Make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to the channel because there will be new content like always.
Yes.
We got a lot of great stuff coming up. No, so I do want to put, there's a photo of Family of Funk. It's kind of like it's a black flyer, you know, and it's really so cool that you guys have actually put this flyer together. So this is one of the photos that I do love of you. But there is a photo of all of you guys. It almost looked like you guys were on tour. It's almost like you guys were on tour. This one here, yes, the Family of Funk, baby.
That's it. Yes.
I love this one. I love this one, man. It's so cool. And you know, I love Vegas too. I'm a Vegas guy, so I love Vegas. So this really fits all the way through. So this is a very great photo of you. So I had to put this up there as well.
Yes, so. Thank you.
So Frank, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor to have you. Sir. Man, this was beautiful. I had such a great time as far as with you actually on the show with us and the whole crew. We thank you so much for being on the show. But I will be sending you an email, so make sure you look out for that because I want to make sure I send your shirt. It gets there on time, baby. It gets there on time.
I will.
Frank, thank you so much, my man. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather, and I'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
You too. Right.
That's Frank Greenfield, everybody. Yeah, that's what we do, baby. That's what we do. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself here on the Rico No Suave show, everybody. I had a blast. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I hope it was a lot of inspiration for you guys. You already know, everybody, it's around the world is where we're going. And, of course, we're inspiring everyone with nothing but great artists and also all gems around the world. We got to put up our social media, everyone. So our social media is the first one. Boom! www.riconosuaveshow.com. Yes, that's where our website. You'll see the archives of the show there on our website as well, too. So please make sure you go to our website. Here's the next one. You already know. Boom! Instagram. Yes, at Rico No Suave Show. Make sure you follow us now. Go there and do it now. Like, right now. All right. Here's the next one. Facebook asked us to come back, and yeah, we did. Rico No Suave Show, everybody. Make sure you go and like and love everything that we're doing there on Facebook. What's next? You know it. Boom. Subscribe to our channel. We're building our journey, everybody. So make sure you go to Rico No Suave Show. Subscribe to the channel, everybody. Go ahead and subscribe right now. Don't forget. Do it now. And last but not least, we always do our podcasting on Mixcloud.com. It turns into a podcast / Rico No Suave show. So make sure you guys go there and support us. Make sure you follow us there on Mixcloud.com / Rico No Suave show. I want to thank everybody for actually tuning in to the Rico No Suave show. Next week is going to be insane. We got a professional basketball player that will be here. My man, Rob Griffin, Chief One Love, will be coming in directly on the show from Detroit. Right? He played for the Bulls, played Detroit Pistons, and he was a Harlem Globetrotter, everyone. So a former Harlem Globetrotter. So make sure you guys tune in next week on the Rico No Suave show. I'll see you guys next week as we end off the show just like this.